this video, then you are going to be a millionaire. Say these affirmations for 7 days and watch how much money comes your way. My mind is worth millions. I don't work for money. Money works for me. I am always at the right place at the right time. My name is spoken of amongst the most successful people. Every penny I spend is returned to me tenfold, and I get paid to exist. If you just happen to see this video, then going to be a millionaire. Say these affirmations for 7 days and watch how much money comes your way. My mind is worth millions. I don't work for money. Money works for me. I am always at the right place at the right time. My name is spoken of amongst the most successful people. Every penny I spend is returned to me tenfold, and I get paid to exist. If you just happen to see this video, then you are going to be a millionaire. Say these affirmations for 7 days and watch how much money comes your way. My mind is worth millions. I don't work for money. Money works for me. I am always at the right place at the right time. My name is spoken of amongst the most successful people. Every penny I spend is returned to me tenfold, and I get paid to exist. If you just happen to see this video, then you are going to be a millionaire. Say these affirmations for 7 days and watch how much money comes your way. My mind is worth millions. I don't work for
So, what is a counter deed? A lawful sworn declaration used to rebut or correct a presumption. We know that the government works off presumptions, right? They presume you to be a United States citizen. They presume you to be born in the United States. They make presumptions. And they did that by way of the 14th Amendment, born or naturalized into the United States. Restores the lawful record from which government derives. Presumption of consent, example documents, birth certificate, marriage license, passport, name in all caps. And all right. So I had a little bit of technical difficulty. I was trying to play a video that I wanted you guys to listen to, but all of a sudden the application froze up and wouldn't play. So just doing a mic check, make sure I'm good. Somebody just send me a text or something if my mic is working fine. Let me put my anointing oil on. What I have here is my open road. I don't know if the camera could catch that clearly. Can't really see it from the words on here. And then my other money drawing oil. Yeah, I do stuff like that. So today I have on my agenda, hold on, fix my cap. Something's going on with my hat. It ain't on right. On my and it says stay out of the middle. Stay out of the middle. What do I mean by stay out of the middle? Let's just say you got some situations you're dealing with, right? You want a specific outcome, you want it to turn out in your favor. You got stuff you are preparing to achieve whatever it is you're working on. See, our only job is to manifest in our minds what we would like to happen. How you get there is not up to you. See, that's where we have a problem. We want stuff to happen, and then we think, well, I got to do this, I got to do this, and you put all this stuff together. I got to do this, I got to make all this stuff happen. And while you're making it happen, you're constantly touching it in the middle. You're in the middle. Oh, wait a minute. I got this thing work. I got to do that. Let me change that. Let me tell you something. The first inspiration that you get is usually the best inspiration. It's usually that's what the spirit or the ancestors, God gave you to put on that paper. That very first one, that very first idea. I don't know how many times I've done stuff and I went with the first inspiration and it worked out. And then I go back and look at it and I'm like, wow, there's a lot of mistakes here. One perfect example of me getting in the middle and messing things up. So, in this world of information that we're in, when they're talking about the ins legis, the straw man, the birth certificate, all of those things, there's this method or this teaching about how you can discharge debt, your house, credit card bills, and things of that nature, right? And I was trying all of that stuff, right? I ended up in court, fighting these people. Now, when I was working alone by myself, researching, and I realized that only a lawyer is going to come in there and try to challenge and try to extract this money from me um so that they can win. And as you know, I teach you, lawyers don't have firsthand knowledge of anything. They're just there to present testimony, present evidence. They're supposed to have their witness, their client with them in the courtroom in order to put them up on the stand and they can testify under oath. But here's the problem: this capitalistic society has created a system of corporations, and a corporation has a personality, but it's a fictitious personality, meaning it cannot speak for itself. It needs someone to represent it. So that anytime you're dealing with any type of debt with any entity, there's never going to be anyone that can come in there and speak facts about whether you did business with it or not. Why? Because they're employees. They come and they go. You have a 30-year mortgage, you're 15 years in. All the people that were there when you signed that loan is going to show up to court to witness that, yeah, this is the guy, this is the people that did it. They're always at a disadvantage. So me working on me, that's the angle I went after. And that case stayed hung up for 3 years. And then I got impatient and got in the middle, and I hired someone, or that said they knew what they're doing. His father was a lawyer, and this is the way I fight it. So he went with the typical method that at the time I didn't know was typical, um, where we fight the mortgage and the note and prove this and prove that. The note is supposed to be this and this and this and that. And my spirit said, no, don't do that. Dude, let's stay in the where they don't even get jurisdiction. They got to have proper evidence in order to move forward. But I went against it, got in the middle, and I let this guy work on the case. And guess what? They came back. That's when the lawyers, all of them, woke up and they did a frenzy of motions after that, because they could argue that you gave I that guy gave them something to talk about. Oh, you want to question the note? Well, let's get the note. You're saying now you're really saying there is a note. There is something real here. There's something tangible we can fight. You gave us the reality. You gave us the position that we could take against you. And then next you know, I was in this full all out battle. But when I could actually take it to the case because it's still there. When you can see all my filings. And when I switched up the way I was going at it, I jumped. I into the jurisdiction of let's look at them note and let's go through the forensic. I did forensic audits. I did all of that nonsense. Still have the paperwork. My point of this is to say this. If I had never gotten the middle and I stuck with what the ancestors had gave me, what God had gave me, they would have never got past me. You see? They would have never got past that. Could still be stuck in limbo with that to this day. Now, I'm going to support what I'm saying by scripture. I'm going to support. I have a bunch of them. There's so many scriptures. You might want to get a pen that you can use here. Got to get out of the middle of your situation. Yeah, when I mean by get out, I mean get your mind out of it. Get your ego thinking that whatever you fancy words you're gonna say, whatever fancy words you're gonna put on paper is gonna do it. And I'm gonna win. If I said this, you rehearse it all in your mind. Oh, I'm gonna get up there, I'm gonna say all these fancy things, and that's gonna win it. That's not gonna help you win anything. What's helping you going to win it is your total reliance on God, the spirit of God through you. That's it. That's what makes you win. And let me remind you of something. And I talked about this earlier this week. King Nebuchadnezzar went mad for 7 years because he simply did not give thanks to God who gave him the power and the authority over his kingdom. Moses could not go into the promised land because he did not acknowledge God in helping him give water to the people. Now we can say these are allegories. It just is just um stories, whatever you want to call it. But whether you want to call it a story or not, it fits how the law of the spirit works. The idea is there of your results is there. That's all you need to be looking at is that result. Everything in between is taken care of for you. Oh, you want to get here. So you get transformed from one place to the next. What slows you? See, the whole idea of Moses and the Israelites taking 40 years to get into the promised land. They remember it was 30 or 40 years. The place from Egypt to the promised land was a few days journey. It wasn't that far. But because they kept getting in the middle with their complaints and non-appreciation of what they had at the moment, it took them 30 to 40 years to get to the promised land. That's an allegory. The reason why things are taking you so long is because you have your worry, your doubt, and your all of these ideas of all of these fancy things you can do to get there instead of just knowing that you're there. That's what's keeping you from being there. All of the ideas of doubt, all of the ideas that you didn't do something right, all of the ideas of lack of trust in God Himself to get you there. Just that lack, that right there. Let's here it is. Let's see. Let's see. It's so many that I could start with. It says here, Proverbs 3:5-6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own insight. In all your ways, acknowledge Him, and He will make straight your path. That means that you must go into meditation and draw your strength from the source. And after you do that, okay, you might be commissioned to do something. And then after you do that, leave it alone. Don't go back because now that first inspiration was what God gave you to move. And then when you go back and you look at it, you're doubting God at that point. And it's not going to have the same results. And this is one of the teachings that I see people are challenged with, because this world has conditioned us that we must do something. You have to do this. You have to do this procedure, and then the courts work on procedure and paperwork. God don't work like that. He works on divine law. Divine law and man's law is two different things. Divine law says this is divine law. Here it is. What's my sheet went away? Okay, this is divine law. I got like, I'm gonna give you all of these so y'all can write them down and go. 1 Peter 5:7. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Where's the one I am looking for? Isaiah 26, 3, 4. 3 to 4. Those of steadfast mind you keep in peace. So you have to have a steadfast mind. Once you do it, stay steady. Done. From this, you see the results, and that's all you look at, is the fact that you're already there, that you're already taken. Everything's handled in peace because they trust in you. Trust in the Lord forever, for in the Lord God you have an everlasting rock. Okay, where's my New Testament? John 14:1. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. That's Christ. So that means you must have the Christ mindset. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. So that's meditation. Prayer is another form of meditation. Don't worry about it. It's nothing to worry about. Okay, this is what I need to handle. It's handled. And go into a meditation about it and see it handled. And then after that, stay out of the middle. Leave it alone. The problem is we get into these meditations, we have it all set out how we want it to come, and then as the day go on, we start reflecting on it. Oh, I need to, you know what? I forgot to do this. I forgot to do that. And you go touching it again. Matthews 11:28-30. Come to me, all you that are weary are carrying heavy burdens. All of us are carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let's look up that word yoke. What does yoke mean? Yoke. Yoke. In casual modern usage, yoke most commonly refers to someone who is very. No, that's not. We're not looking for that one. Not somebody who's worked out. Let's look at what the Bible means. In the Bible, a yoke is a wooden frame typically used to harness two draft animals together, and most commonly oxen for work like plowing. It symbolizing both physical labor and more broadly service submission and the burdens of life. The Bible also uses the yoke metaphorically to represent various forms of servitude, oppression, and even discipleship. So they're saying this scripture is saying, take my yoke upon you, meaning take on the yoke of everything you do Everything you want to accomplish must put forth the kingdom of God first in your mind. You must become Christ like. Okay, how am I going to handle this spiritually? How am I going to do this? That's the first place. Then everything comes from that. Everything. That's why the scripture says, put forth the kingdom of heaven first, then all of these things shall be added unto you. What happens is we wake up, oh, I got to do all this stuff. We ain't even thinking about nothing spiritual. It's so many things that I've done, and I have just went with that first motive or motivation. And then I go back and look, it's like, wow, that's not right. Yeah, I mean, how did that get through? Because they were blinded by the spirit. It wasn't the paperwork. I just had to perform, meaning I had to put my sacrifice of time in to work towards what I wanted by the inspiration that I got. After that, it was already handled. I had to give a commitment. I had to show my commitment level. Or I was going to be like some of these people. This is why people in church never get what they want. They'll sit there and go to church every week. Oh, and the preacher say, just wait on God. He'll take care of it. So they just sit down waiting. They ain't doing nothing. They're not writing nothing down, saying this is how they want things to turn out. Be precise about how they want their life to look. Whether it be finances, how they want that to look. Whether it be relationship, how they want that to look. Let me get to that relationship thing. I've asked many people what would be their ideal relationship or their ideal partner. And this is how I know whether they're going to have a healthy relationship or not. Most answers I get when I ask that question is about what the other person is going to give them, do for them. That's like 99.9% of every time I've asked this question, it's always about in their head what that person is going to give them and how that person is going to treat them. Before I go any further, let me qualify this, what I'm about to say. I'm going to qualify what I'm going to say. And it's in Acts chapter 20:35. It says, in everything I did, I showed you that by this kind of hard work, we must help the weak, remembering the words of Lord Jesus himself saying, it is more blessed to give than it is to receive. Why is that? Your giving is what gets you to the part of receiving. Oh, you can get receiving without giving, but the cycle stops right there. If you're a person that just takes, give me, it stops right there because what you have to do, you get it from that person. Then you gotta go get it from that person and get it, because all these people get tired of you. This person is just a taker. They ain't giving nothing. They see it. People pick up on that quick. But a person that is a giver first will always receive, will always never go broke, never have lack. Because what happens, even if what you gave to the person there doesn't appreciate it, the law of giving, this is a law. The law of giving will provide somewhere else. Let me say it again. You give to someone, they don't appreciate it. There's a lot of people like that, and a lot. You will encounter that a lot. Don't stress that. Don't get in the middle of that. That's their karma they're dealing with. Because what they take from you without giving will be taken away from there. There's a scripture. They're considered a poor person in the area of giving, meaning the poor will continue to be poor and they will have less and more will be taken from them. So that little bit of taking they get, more they'll 10 times more will be taken from them. Okay? So back to what I was saying. Give me, I want this. I want them to do this. And that's all they focus on. Then when I hear a person, and it's very few that happen, but it happens. And I heard a person, and then out of their mouth says, you know what? It's not about what that person can give me. It's what I can give to that person to enhance their life. Because whether you want to believe it or not, to be in a relationship, any kind of relationship, it could just be a friendship. It could be a romance. It could be husband and wife. You are in that relationship and you must be of service to that person. Without that's what you call having a good relationship. That's what. How can I be of services person to you? Are you there to be in a person's house to be a problem? Give them a hard time? No, you're there to get along and enhance and elevate each other. Yes, will problems come up because yes, personality conflicts always come up. But our first goal is to be as Christ was, to give, to make that other person's life or to help make it better. Be an encouragement, to be a support in different ways. But unfortunately, in this day and age, when people talk about relationships, they're looking for what they can get out of it, not what they can give. And that's how you get in the way and in the middle of you having a healthy relationship. So let's go back to the scriptures. And his, I think I read this. John 14:1. Do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. I just read that. And I think that's where the question comes: is do people really believe that there's a spirit, that there's a God, there is a God in them? No. Most people believe in government and what they could do to them and all of the harm they could create. They believe in the systems of grocery stores providing food for them. They believe in the system of the water company giving them water. We live on a planet with 80% water. There's water everywhere. There's water in the ground that you can extract. But because you don't have the knowledge to be able to extract your own water, or because you're in the fear that the government's going to mess with you because they made these rules that you can't collect rainwater. All this rain we had over the past few days, months here in North Carolina, it's been raining just about every day. And if I had a barrel out there just to catch all of that, then I sterilize it or clean it, filter it. I got waters, clean water, unfiltered, going through all of these different pipes that build up sediment and sludge over time, especially if you live in the big cities where they have not replaced all of those pipings. All of that pipe has sludge in it. And it builds up a wall because of the pressure of the water. It just keeps pushing the sludge against the wall. And over time, you notice that it loses pressure because it keeps building layers of sludge. But if you ever shut that water pipe down, that sludge is going to collapse and then now the water won't flow through. I learned that when I had a barbershop. The water came in, water company came to change out their lines. They shut the water off. And then when they shut it back on, I barely had water coming through. Why? Because there was no more pressure keeping all of that sludge against the wall of the pipe. And when you look at the pipe, it's just nasty looking stuff. And this is what we rely on. We rely on man's systems to handle all of our affairs. We don't trust in God, what God has provided for us to even sustain ourselves. This is why we have health problems. Because we're drinking man's processed water. They didn't create the water. They just had, all they can do is process it. Take the water that's already there and process it. They don't create water. But we paid them for it. This is why our society is collapsing. And good if it does. Would some people suffer? Yes. Because they're not used to taking care of themselves and living off the land. True. But maybe that's what's needed to get us back to a reset where we are totally reliant on what the earth provides. It's going to go back to that. Y'all do know that it's been about 6 resets, right? This is the 6th reset. And it's going to a reset again. And how do you know we at the height of a reset? Because the lines get blurred. Everybody's against each other. Like in this country, I could tell you, this country is going into a reset. It's resetting. Let's put it like that. It's resetting. Because at any reset, things just get real chaotic and crazy. And we like right at the beginning, a little past the beginning. We haven't reached the peak yet. We're getting there. Because now everybody's against each other. Everybody think I'm independent. I don't need nobody. I got it. How can that be? You needed 2 people just to get you here. You didn't get here by yourself. You needed 2 people, a man and a woman, and God to get you here. Period. All right. Therefore, do not worry saying what will we eat or what will we drink. This is also could be used symbolically for all your situation. Don't worry about the situation working out. It's already worked out. What prevents it from working out is you're constantly meddling with it along its process of working out. You're constantly thinking you need to say something different, do something different. See, when things work out, it just shows up and you just align with it and it's worked out. And I know that's a hard concept because it took me a while to realize that all I have to do is see the result and then leave it alone. Align with the result. How do you align with the result? And that's the trick question. How do I align? If I don't do this, the court, let's put it like this. All the things that you want to do to fix something is to trigger a result in some entity or person to give you what you want. It's called manipulation. Good or bad. It's a manipulation tactic. I'm going to do this and then they're going to do this. Well, when is the Spirit of God going to work and manipulate them into doing what you need? When you're so busy thinking that I'm going to do this and it's going to make it work. When is you allow the real problem solver to come in? Because we don't solve problems. We're not problem solvers. We're not even here to solve a problem. All we here is to remember who we truly are. That's it. Divine manifestations of God. That's it. When, although that's an allegory, Adam and Eve was given the Garden of Eden, the results were there. They just had to enjoy it. The wealth was there. Here, do this, and do you go name this, and you handle this. Just keep it going. Keep what's already here going. Am I missing something? Am I missing something? So when you got planted here, planted it in your mom's womb, when you got activated and you came out, everything was there for you. But because we are in a man's system and it puts you in a box of thinking about things, well, I got to go get this education, get this job, and keep these corporations rich. Remember what this system is really for. It's capitalism, meaning that this system is set up to support corporations. That's why you don't get the bailout. The companies get the bailout because the companies support the system by bringing slaves in so that they could be taxed to pay the system. They're in brotherhood. They're in partnership. Corporations and the current system is in a partnership to keep capitalism moving. This is why you can't get bailed out like in 2008. They bailed all the banks out. Why? Because the banks is an essential part of the system. And if those banks fail, their system fails. So we got to give them money and inject billions of dollars, just throw that at them so that they can, and how they justify that is, so because it's going to help you. Yes, it is going to help you. It's going to help you stay a slave to the system and keep their system going. When you get in your mind, when you realize that without everyone's consent in this system, that system would not survive. If you stop trying to spend, if you stop trying to get all of their registration, if everyone stopped that all at once, just tell you the truth, in 10 to 15% of people, 10 to 20% of the people just stop, that would collapse the system. If 20% of account holders in a bank went in there and withdrew all of their money out of that bank, that will collapse that bank. It don't have to be everybody. Just 20%. Just go in there and just pull their money out. Because 20% of millions is a lot of money to be pulling out. If 20% went into a bank on any given day, went in there and withdrew their money, millions of people, all on the same day, no more banking system. Done. No banking system. Now the Federal Reserve have what they gonna do? Because that's how they get their money into the system, through the banking system, through creating fiat currency, through your signature. So can we blame the system? We get in the middle and we keep doing the same thing over and over again and allow them to exist through our consent. Blessed are those who trust in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. They shall be like tree planted by water, seeding out its roots by the stream. You will never go hungry just by simply saying, having that simple trust. That's it. Oh, yeah, it might look bad right now. And the only reason why it's look bad right now, because you believe that it looks bad. You have generated that. It's bad. I can't pay my rent. I can't pay my bills. I'm behind. You see all these I am statements? That you've adopted and holding on to? See it? I'm tired of this. So you're going to keep being tired. The act of saying you're tired of something, saying that you're not lacking, or you have the lack of appreciation for the the situation you're in, and seeing the benefit of why you're in that situation. Because I could tell you, no matter what you're going through, there's a benefit for why you're going through it. When I got fired with a baby on the way and 2 boys, no money going in, that was a benefit. Oh, going through it, it was hell. Like it felt like, and the only reason why I felt like hell because I took on the burden of worry instead of following these scriptures, saying, "Oh, it's going to be all right." This is temporary, and it was temporary. I couldn't get unemployment for 10 weeks. Just imagine no money coming in the house for 10 weeks. Just imagine. I didn't get put out because what happened? See, and this is what happened with most of us. We turn to God when there's no one else to turn to. After we done been in the middle, interfering, messing with things, and then we got nothing left, that's when we turn. And guess what God does? Treat you just like the prodigal son and bring you on back. Allow you to come back until you lose your mind again and think you got it covered. And then you go back to being where you was, broken, disgusted again. But you could always come back. See, that's the perfect thing. You could always come back. You could always get on track and then realize, wait a minute, I'm off track. I'm not. Let me get this together. Some of you are stuck in a cycle of dealing with the same thing over and over because simply, you won't let go of the old you. And what is the old you? What is the old you? Everything, not just a little bit, everything you did or done, said that got you where you are today. Every action, everything you said, everything, every connection you made is what got you here today. Everything, 100%. Okay. I have to do it again. I have to qualify it. I have to qualify it. I have to qualify it. Let me see. I want to get the full gist of this one. Let me see. How do I? Okay, there it is. It's Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4. I'm going to read the whole thing. The new life. Start at verses 17 of chapter 4 of Ephesians. Now, this I say and testify in the Lord that you must no longer walk as the Gentiles do in the futility of their minds. And that's most right now. People are working in the futility of their minds. What is, I'm getting back to looking up these words again. Futility. That's not futility definition. Pointlessness or uselessness. That's what that means. In the pointlessness and uselessness of your mind. That makes it that really makes it, hearing it that way, you really understand what's going on. In the futility of their mind, they are darkened darkened in their understanding. And some of y'all are connected to people like this, and you won't let them go. And just that letting go is you in the middle of blocking you from getting where you need to be. Alienated from the life of God because of the ignorance that is in them due to their hardness of heart. They have become callous and have given themselves up to sensuality, greedy, to practice every kind of impurity. But that is not the way you learned Christ. That's not the way you come of Christ. That's not how you came here. Assuming that you have heard about him and were taught in him as the truth is in Jesus, to put off the old self, which belongs to your former manner of life and is corrupt through deceitful desires. See, the mind is so pointless that it will deceive, it will have deceitful desires. Then it says in 23, and to be renewed in the spirit of your minds. Renewed means what? Let's look that word up. Renewed. What does renewed mean? Oh, renewed means, yeah, I'm renewed and I just have a little bit of old. That's not renewed. Having been resumed, reestablished, or revived, he is currently fighting renewed attempt, refresh, replenish. That's what it says, is being replenished. Renew mean replace. Replace something old. So you have to really replace all of who you have become new. Meaning all of the associations, conversations, all of the habits, all of that got to go. Total transformation. Total. You have to get to the point where you look in the mirror and you look at yourself at one point and say, well, who am I? Like, wow, I'm different. And you look back where you were so many years. There's so many times I think about how I was many years ago. I'm like, man, I can't even. Once you become renewed, this is how you know you've developed and you've elevated to a new person. When you look back at that person you used to be and you can't stand them, you're disgusted by him. That's how you know you done it. Now you look back and you're like, oh wow. And you cringe at some of the actions you have taken. You're like, whoa. That's how you know you're moving in the right direction. Because you can't be renewed and then look at that old person. Oh, yeah, he was. Can't be. It don't work that way. Renewed in the spirit of your minds, meaning your whole spirit of your mind have to change. And to put on a new self created after the likeness of God in true righteousness and holiness. True righteousness and holiness. True righteousness and holiness. I don't even think I have to break that down for you. And it also means that sometimes, even when you feel like you're right and you don't need to do something, you do it for the sake of helping someone who is in a dark place come out of that dark place, because you bring in your light of reconciliation to them is awakening them. But sometimes, oh, I don't need to do that because I feel like I don't have to do this because of, all of the feelings of the ideas that you come up with, that you generate. You can make whatever excuse you want. And guess what? And that's one of the most powerful forms of giving of yourself. Giving up the idea that you are right and you don't have to do something, and you don't. You really don't. But just that mere act of giving will give you back. That giving comes back to you 10, 20. It changes things. Let me ask you a question. In the Christ story, if any of you are familiar with Christ's story, let me ask you something. When did he ever argue or try to be right with people? Right? This man got spit on. All his disciples left. And in no term did he come back and say, "You did me wrong and y'all left me. I did all this healing and I gave you." Never. He didn't even mention it. He just took it. See, that's symbolically when you do things like that's you showing up as Christ. Think about it. Even if I'm right about something, what do I gain from just people having the knowledge of me being right? Them just saying that I'm right. After that, they forget about it and they move on to some other YouTube video. There's people have come for me to help, and they was trying all these processes, and I warned them not to do it. They did it anyway. And I don't go. They say, "Yeah, I can't." They come to me and say, "You know what? You was right." I don't. When they say that, I just think, "Okay, cool. Now, what do you need?" Oh, I told you so. I used to be like that, but then I realized, what power is that? It's more power in just being happy that they woke up. It's when you go to someone and you just settle the air with them, whether you believe you justified or not, it's empowering you, not them. It's empowering you because guess what? That's a issue all in its own. That's a storm, that a distracting storm that keeps you from where you need to, that point you want to be. And let me be clear, most of the stuff that's blocking us from getting where we want to be is all mental. It's all thoughts. It's all thought forms that you created. See, we identify with these thought forms so much that we forget. And that's what happened in Ezekiel. He identified with the thought form of, "I did this. Look at my kingdom." And the spirit said, "What? What? For real, nigga?" I had to go there. For real? You did what? Oh, you created the grass, huh? You did that, right? You did all that yourself. Huh? You created water and that very land you on, you created that. Well, for real? Okay. I'm gonna let you eat that grass now and figure it out. Showing you really ain't got no control over nothing. We don't have control over everything. We don't. All of this struggling for having control over stuff is just a waste of damn time. You just sit here. Just sit here and hold on. Hold on. I don't have a cup, so I'm gonna drink it out the cap. Ooh. Oh man. Ooh. 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 That was strong. So something coming. All of this stuff that you're trying to control is a waste of time. It's a waste of your energy. You, as a divine manifestation of God, would just sit here just to enjoy life. Pick from the buffet that's right in front of you and enjoy that because it's already here. It's already been presented to you for you to enjoy. Why you can't enjoy it? Because this system has blocked you from seeing that buffet. And you think in order to achieve peace, love, and happiness and achieve anything, you got to do what they're saying in this system. And everything you're trying to do, why is it taking so long? Because even this, they created a system off of this. Is what's blocking you. I use it as reference points because these scriptures in the Quran, the Torah, what do they call the Buddhism? What papers they call those? Any religious thought, all those things that's written down came from the same place. It came from the same place. So that means that if it came from up there, it's already, all this stuff is already encoded in you. You already encoded with it. It's in your DNA. It's in your spiritual DNA. It's in all of these words is already written on in you, in your spirit. When all of the Christ that came, the Buddhas that came, all of them that came, all they did was repeat what was already been encoded throughout the centuries, throughout the millions of years. That's all they did. We go to the one truth. The one truth. The one truth of you. There's only one truth. That's what they talk about. That one God. You, one God. There's only one truth. That you are a divine manifestation of God and you are the creator and you bring out of the manifestations of your life everything. Everything you're seeing and dealing with is a manifestation of your vision you had in your head. Oh, I didn't want that bad relationship. I didn't want that person to cheat on me. I didn't want that person to be abusive. I didn't. Really? How can you not get an abusive person in your life when you've been abusing yourself all your life? You've been the number one abuser of yourself. Oh, I know I gut checked some of y'all right there. You've been the number one abuser because you said you was ordinary, because you said that I'm imperfect. I'm this and I'm that. You gave yourself all of these abusive terms to identifying yourself instead of identifying yourself as God manifestation. Anything outside of that is abuse. The Bible calls it sin. You abuse yourself. You know, church folks abuse themselves. I'm a sinner. I'm a wretch. Oh, God, forgive me. Just abusing themselves mentally. Just telling themselves how bad they are. That's abuse. And if you have a mindset like that, that's the type of people that's going to show up to encourage that life. That's what you're giving. What you give, you shall receive. That's why it says better to give than to receive. But make sure your giving is proper and pure. So you can get proper and pure back. You can receive that. That abusive man, that abusive woman, you have abused yourself all of these years, and you expect someone to come in your life not to abuse you? I see why that thing was strong. I see why it was strong. You have hurt yourself through your thoughts. You have played yourself down through your thoughts. They call it humble. Do y'all understand what the word humble really means? Okay, I'll tell y'all what it means. And this is from the Anglo-Saxon dictionary. Pull it up. I'm being humble. Okay, let's see what humble means. Let's see. Give me a second. I'm gonna find it. Humble. Did I take a screenshot of that word? Mm-mm. I didn't. But I'll pull it up in my PDF because I have the PDF. I'm gonna put it up in my membership. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna put that. It's actually on the Internet Archive, archive.gov, and you put Anglo-Saxon Dictionary PDF, and you'll pull it up. And that's a religious dictionary. Anglo-Saxon. This is the religious church of the United States is Anglo-Saxon. Did y'all know that? No, you didn't. And what do you think happened when they buried them presidents? They go to an Anglo-Saxon church to do funerals. And they tell you not to use the Bible in the court. I'll let them hold on. I'm letting it load up because it's 398 pages. Load up, load up, load up. It's taking the time. Okay, here we go. All right, let's get to the letter H. Come on. These principalities don't want y'all to understand these words. Because I done been looking at this dictionary for weeks. And it never took this long to load. It's loaded now. Just stand by. Okay, let's get to the letter H. Humble. There we go. H-U. No, this is not. One thing I don't like about PDFs is they online dictionaries. You just got to scroll through every damn thing to get to it, which you need. But when you understand what this word humble is, you stop using it. I'm still in the A's. Come on now. Let me see if I can do a Control F and see if I can find this thing. Control F, Command F. See if it'll scan this document. It found it. Yeah. No, it should be more than that. Let's go to the. Y'all should download this because y'all gonna see what the real meaning of the word white is. They spell it W-I-H-T. This form of English language now is just switched around. All right, I'm almost there. Sorry it's taking so long. And peace to everybody that's online and listening in. I know I didn't acknowledge y'all in the beginning. I'm acknowledging you now. I just jump right in. Just jump right in. Okay, hang on. H-U. All right. Now, one of the things they do spell things a little different in this dictionary. All right. I'm almost there. Patience, patience. All right, here we go. We're right there. H-U-M. Did they move this? Okay. I can't seem to locate that. It's in here. It says it's in here 12 times. Let's see. Let's go back to this one. It means to oppress, abase, afflict, crush, weaken, prostate, prostrate, to fail. So that's what it means to humble yourself, to oppress yourself. So when you talk down about yourself, you are humbling yourself. You are oppressing yourself. You should speak nothing but good words to yourself. All right. Let's see. Let's go to the chat. I got a few people in there. We got Jody Stickamo, greetings and grand rising. We have Falcon L555. Haven't seen you in a minute. Peace. Jamiko Akaman, Raj and Sean, same to you. Somebody said pipe water and sludge. You got be deaf not to learn something new every day. Yes, there's sludge all in there. Falcon L said good stuff. Peace. All right. Well, that's all I had. All of the preaching. I beat y'all over the head enough, especially with that last one. my back scratcher. You know, that's with the last one. Something to think about. I ain't trying to, put y'all down or nothing, but I'm just trying to lift y'all up. But sometimes to lift you up, I got to show you some things that hurt. That's how you know you're making progress when you feel it, when you triggered by it. You know it's something you need to work on. You know it. All right. With that being said, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to everyone. I am is out. You have a good day. Peace.